If you watch enough marketing videos, you might think adding solar to your home is like buying a new refrigerator. You place an order today, a crew drops it off tomorrow, and you instantly start saving money. The reality looks far more like a major home renovation. You are permanently attaching heavy infrastructure to your roof and integrating a powerful new energy source into your home's electrical system. This involves drilling into the roof structure to secure heavy metal racking, routing direct current wiring through the attic or exterior walls, and tying complex inverters into the main service panel. Take a look at this comparison timeline. The top bar represents the expectation, a quick 2 to 3 day turnaround. The bottom bar shows the actual process. It stretches out much further, broken into distinct blocks for planning, permits, the physical installation, and utility interconnection. Notice how the bulk of that bottom timeline happens before anyone even climbs a ladder. A safe, compliant solar project requires weeks or even months of site assessment, engineering design, and municipal approvals. Trying to compress this timeline leads to expensive mistakes. Bolting 25-year hardware onto a rotting roof or rushing a design that leaves you with an undersized system means you will spend thousands later trying to fix a setup that isn't actually reducing your electric bill. To see how a successful project actually unfolds, we are going to walk through the strictly ordered before, during, and after phases of a professional installation right here in Sunbury. Each phase depends heavily on the one before it. Bypassing a roof check or an electrical inspection to save a few days directly compromises the safety and output of the entire system. Investing the time up front to navigate the assessments and the paperwork is a mandatory trade-off. It is the exact process required to secure a reliable energy asset that will actually perform safely for the next 25 years. The entire process begins with a rigorous on-site assessment. Before drawing up any blueprints, a professional installer evaluates exactly how your home uses power, where the shade falls, and the physical condition of your roof. First, they review your energy profile. By analyzing your last 12 months of electric bills, the installer maps out your peak usage periods and sizes the system to match your actual consumption patterns. They also need to know your future plans. If you intend to purchase an electric vehicle or add a home battery backup system in the near future, the design must account for that added electrical load today. This flowchart maps out the physical roof assessment. An inspector looks for soft roof decking, failing shingles, or severe tree shade. Depending on what they find, the project splits into two paths: a green path to proceed, or a red path diverting you to repair the roof first. Hitting that red path introduces an immediate trade-off. Discovering a failing roof delays your solar project and requires you to spend money out of pocket on roofing repairs before any panels can go up. But accepting that delay comes with a massive financial payoff. It eliminates the enormous future cost of paying a crew to completely dismantle, remove, and reinstall your entire solar array just to fix a leak 5 years from now. Your roof structure and your electrical profile operate as interconnected systems. Treating them as a single combined unit during this early stage protects your long-term return on investment. Once the assessment is clear, the project enters a heavy administrative phase. The installer submits custom engineering designs to local building departments and utility providers for approval. This includes applying for interconnection. Interconnection is the highly regulated legal and technical process of safely linking your private rooftop power source to the public electric grid. Because interconnection rules vary, a home in Sunbury on AEP Ohio might face entirely different paperwork requirements and processing speeds than a property served by a consolidated cooperative. As the flowchart advances into the permits and interconnection block, you can see how this phase introduces weeks of bureaucratic waiting periods. These timelines are dictated entirely by the municipality and the utility, completely out of the installer's control. But look at the outcome this process ensures. These independent reviews verify that the mounting layout will not collapse your roof and that the electrical routing will not overload your main panel and cause a house fire. It is deeply frustrating to wait on paperwork. However, bypassing these approvals can leave you with a system that fails municipal code inspections or triggers heavy legal fines from the utility company for unauthorized connections. Local red tape serves a very specific purpose. It acts as a critical legal shield, protecting you from future liability and ensuring the system is strictly up to code before a single wire is cut. When installation day finally arrives, your home briefly turns into a construction site. Expect temporary noise, blocked driveways, and the absolute necessity of keeping children and pets safely clear of the exterior work zones. By the end of the day, the crew will have permanently sealed the mounting hardware into the roof structure, secured the panels, and safely routed the direct current wiring down to a new inverter. But here's the most surprising part of the process. Even though the panels are physically bolted down and the wiring is complete, the entire system must remain completely turned off. As this diagram illustrates, your finished array stays physically disconnected from the active grid via a locked switch. An independent inspector must first physically review the wire runs, safety labels, and clearances before the utility company officially grants permission to operate, or PTO. Staring at a finished, expensive system you cannot use tests your patience. You endure this intense psychological waiting period for one specific reason: to prevent your system from sending unchecked power back into the public grid. If the power goes out in your neighborhood, unexpected grid backseating from an active solar panel can electrocute the utility workers actively trying to repair the downed lines. Permission to operate is a strict, non-negotiable safety mandate to protect human life. A solar installation is only truly complete once it safely and legally communicates with the broader electrical grid. That final approval separates a professional infrastructure project from a dangerous DIY experiment. The highly visible one-day installation you see on your roof is really just the midway point of a highly orchestrated, multi-month engineering project. If you approach this expecting instant gratification, or if you refuse to address an aging roof before adding panels, a solar project is going to cause you severe frustration. However, if you treat this as a multi-decade home upgrade and embrace the early assessment phases, you ensure a perfectly sized system that maximizes your long-term return on investment. You can step into that planning role today by gathering specific documents before an installer ever arrives. This readiness checklist highlights the essentials. Gather 12 months of utility bills, confirm the age of your roof, and review your homeowners association rules. Having this specific information ready drastically speeds up your initial consultation. It gives the design team accurate data from day one, preventing costly redesign delays later in the process. Successfully navigating this complex timeline requires partnering with a local expert. You need a team that intimately understands Ohio weather patterns, regional roof variations, and local utility bureaucracy. If you are planning a project in Sunbury, Solar Panel Services Sunbury will review your property, detail the exact timeline, and execute a professional installation with clear expectations from that very first assessment, all the way through to final activation.